what is that? That fundamental thing that just makes us tick.
Yeah.
That pushes us to do things, create things, or, just be.
It's a huge question.
It is. And today, we're diving deep into a concept that feels like it's underneath everything we do, really core to the human experience.
We're exploring something that one of your submitted sources actually calls human energy. It's from that AI analysis piece, the Tapestry of Human Energy.
Exactly. And this isn't just some fuzzy idea, is it?
No, not at all.
We want to really dissect what this human energy might actually be and look at how it influences, well, pretty much everything. History, our own lives.
It's got a profound reach. And you, our listener, you've sent in some really fascinating material on this, a lot to chew on.
Definitely shows your curiosity.
Or
a real breadth of sources.
So our mission here, I think, is to work through these, especially focusing on that AI analysis and pull out the key ideas.
Right. Try to give a clearer picture of this, well, complex phenomenon without getting bogged down in jargon.
Let's make sense of it.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The AI analysis you mentioned, it starts right at the heart of it, doesn't it?
It does. It doesn't explicitly use the term human energy initially, but it points to a central dynamic, something shaping everything.
And what's that dynamic?
Well, the AI perspective is pretty interesting. It calls it the dynamic interplay of existence, consciousness, and purpose.
Okay, existence, consciousness, purpose. Let's break that down.
Think about it. We exist, right? We're here.
We are aware that we exist. That's consciousness.
And we seem to be constantly looking for meaning, for a reason, a purpose within that existence.
So the human energy we're talking about, the AI suggests it's how this interplay actually shows up.
Exactly. It's the manifestation, the life force, the capacity for action and experience that just comes from being human. It's like the engine.
The power source behind it all.
Precisely. It's not just being alive. It's that constant dance between being here, knowing we're here, and striving for something.
Okay. So the AI analysis then shows how this core dynamic, this energy in action, kind of radiates out. Affects pretty much everything.
Yeah, it ripples through all aspects of life.
Where should we start? Maybe the big picture. Human time, history.
That makes sense. If you think about it, that basic drive to survive, coupled with this, inherent desire to make things better, find meaning, that's all human energy pushing history forward.
So inventions, conflicts, societal changes.
All fueled by this collective drive. The AI analysis even mentions it can analyze historical data, look for patterns in how this energy was channeled in different times.
Like?
Well, for instance, think about when human energy was mainly focused on agriculture. That led to huge, slow shifts in how societies were structured, where people lived.
Right. And it gets really fundamental when you bring in genetics and biology. The physical basis for all this.
It's easy to forget that, isn't it? But the AI really dissects it. Biologically, this energy is tied to, well, our metabolism, how we turn food into fuel.
Neural activity in the brain.
Exactly. And even that primal drive to reproduce, keep the species going. Our genes influence our baseline energy, our predispositions.
And the AI can analyze that too. Genetic links.
Yeah, it mentions looking at genetic markers, finding correlations with traits, like maybe certain genes involved with neurotransmitters could link to people being more exploratory, which is a kind of outward-directed energy.
Fascinating. Okay, moving from the biological to the more abstract philosophy.
Right. And what are philosophers always wrestling with?
Big questions.
Yeah.
Being, knowing, values, meaning of life.
Exactly. And the AI points out these questions come directly from our experience of existing, being conscious, and seeking purpose. Our human energy is what makes us ask them in the first place.
So philosophy is like a structured way of exploring this energy.
In a sense, yes. And the AI can analyze philosophical texts, track how ideas about these core concepts have evolved over time.
Now, this might seem like a leap, but the AI also brings in physics and math. How do they fit?
It sounds abstract, but think about it. The AI reminds us that basic physical laws govern how our energy even works in the world.
Like thermodynamics, how efficiently we use energy from food.
Precisely. Or statistical models that describe group behavior, how populations move, how economies function. Math gives us the language for these complex interactions.
And the AI is good at finding those mathematical relationships in the data.
Yeah, and everything from how ideas spread to how cities grow, it spots the underlying math.
Okay, and what about logic? That feels very tied to consciousness.
It is. Logical thinking is crucial, right?
Yeah.
For navigating the world, solving problems, planning.
Making sense of things.
But the AI makes a neat distinction. Its own operations are purely logical.
Right.
But human energy driven by emotions, instincts, biases sometimes leads us down paths that aren't strictly logical.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And the AI, being logical itself, can actually spot those patterns in our decision-making where we deviate from pure reason.
Okay, here's where I think it gets really interesting. Our state of mind, our beliefs, they seem to have such a huge effect on where our energy goes.
Oh, absolutely. And they're deeply tied into that core dynamic. Existence, consciousness, purpose, how we feel, how we perceive things.
Our whole internal landscape.
Right. And belief systems, religious, philosophical, personal, they give us frameworks for purpose, for dealing with life's challenges.
So our energy can be massively focused or amplified by what we believe.
Definitely. Think about acts of great faith, or just sheer determination against the odds, or even, unfortunately, the grip of negative beliefs.
And the AI can map connections here between experiences, internal states, behavior.
That's its strength. It can analyze how stimuli affect internal states and lead to certain actions. It can even look at the historical impact of different belief systems on societies.
Okay, so this energy impacts everything, but let's zoom in. How does it play out for individuals, and then how does that ripple outwards?
Good question. For each individual, it's unique, isn't it? Shaped by our genes, our upbringing, our choices.
It shows up in so many ways.
Ambition, creativity, love, but also fear, anger, apathy. The AI analysis suggests that the meaning of this energy for any one person is really their subjective feeling of being alive, vital, having purpose.
And we all know people whose energy just seems to lift others up.
And others who, well...
drain the room.
Yeah, exactly. Our individual energy absolutely affects our social circles. Positive energy can inspire, motivate. Negative energy can really pull people down. Our relationships are constantly shaped by these interactions.
So zoom out again. What's the collective impact on society, the world?
That collective human energy is what drives the big shifts. Periods of innovation happen when energy is focused on exploration, problem solving.
And conflict.
That arises when different drives, different groups' energies clash on a large scale, even huge challenges like climate change. You can see them as a result of collective energy focus, say, on economic growth or comfort, without maybe enough focus on sustainability.
That really brings us to the ethical side of things, doesn't it? How we choose to direct this energy.
Absolutely critical. The direction matters hugely. The AI analysis sort of suggests that actions promoting well-being, connection, knowledge, sustainability, they tend to lead to better outcomes overall.
And harmful actions, spreading lies, depleting resources, they have negative effects.
Right. So what does this all mean? It really underlines how important it is to understand this energy, its dynamics. If we understand it better, maybe we can make more conscious choices about where we put our energy individually and together.
So if we get a better handle on this human energy, can we improve things, channel it more positively, minimize the downsides?
The AI analysis suggests a few avenues. First, just better self-awareness. Understanding our own energy, what fuels it, drains it, how we affect others, that empowers conscious choices.
Makes sense.
Second, thinking about societal structures. Can we design them to encourage channeling energy towards constructive goals, education, science, sustainability, rather than destructive ones?
And technology's role, AI specifically.
Right. AI could play a pretty significant role here.
How so? What can it actually do?
Well, the AI itself points out several things. It can analyze massive amounts of data on human behavior, spot subtle patterns we might miss.
Okay.
It can build predictive models, like what might be the long-term consequences if we direct our collective energy this way versus that way.
Forecasting outcomes.
Sort of. It can help optimize resources, manage things more efficiently to support human well-being, and maybe even offer personalized tools, insights to help individuals manage their own energy and well-being better.
It's pretty wild to think a machine could offer insights into something so human. Which brings us to comparing human understanding versus AI understanding of this energy.
A really key point. Our human understanding comes from living it, right? Feelings, intuition, empathy, looking inwards.
We feel vitality, passion, motivation, or fatigue, frustration.
Exactly. We get the qualitative side, the feeling of connection, the drive to create, the sadness of loss. It's personal, often beyond pure logic. Think about art, music. They try to capture and share these very human experiences.
Whereas AI comes at it totally differently.
Completely. AI understands it quantitatively by finding patterns, correlations in huge data sets.
Physiological signals, behavior trends, language analysis, historical records.
Right. It identifies relationships, predicts outcomes. It can model complex systems, social networks, economies. It sees the effects and manifestations of human energy, but it doesn't feel it. It lacks that subjective experience.
The analysis you mentioned even laid out a comparison, didn't it? Human understanding is subjective, experiential, maybe biased. AI is objective, data-driven, precise, but lacks the feeling.
Exactly. And the strengths of one might help balance the weaknesses of the other. Human insight gives depth and meaning. AI provides scale and analytical power. Together, maybe a fuller picture emerges.
Right. Now, you, our listener, asked some really specific, sharp questions within this whole topic. Let's try and tackle some of those, starting with meaning and sustainability.
Yeah, the question about the meaning of human energy, how to sustain it forever, plus questions about replacing organs, even the whole human system, where the energy came from, how it's evolving. Huge. So, meaning, we touched on the AI framing. Existence, consciousness, purpose, interplay. Sustaining it forever. Well, philosophically, people talk about immortality. Biologically, current science says individual life is finite.
And the AI view.
Rooted in physics, really. Energy conservation, entropy systems tend towards disorder, but information patterns can persist even if the physical hardware changes.
And what about substitutes? Artificial organs,
Yeah.
replicating the whole system.
That was another listener point. We're already seeing big steps in artificial organs, prosthetics. AI is definitely speeding that up, optimizing designs, analyzing biology, guiding robotics.
Replicating the whole system, though. Consciousness uploading.
That's way out there, very theoretical right now. But if it were ever possible, AI would almost certainly be involved in mapping those incredibly complex biological and neural networks.
And the origin question. Where did this energy start?
The AI suggests it basically emerged with life itself, with consciousness. And it's not static. It's been shaped and refined throughout history, and it's still evolving with our societies and technologies.
The listener also specifically brought up art, music, painting, theater. How does that fit in?
The AI sees art as a really powerful, direct expression of human energy. It's how we make our inner worlds, emotions, ideas about existence, purpose tangible.
A way to externalize and share that energy.
Exactly. It connects us across time and cultures. Now, AI can analyze artistic styles, spot trends, even generate art based on patterns.
But it doesn't feel the drive behind it.
Precisely. It lacks that subjective spark that drives human creation and appreciation.
What about struggles? Misfortune. How do they affect this energy?
The AI views them as potentially transformative. Yes, they can deplete immediate energy, lead to exhaustion, despair.
Sure.
But they can also be catalysts, building resilience, empathy, driving innovation. Think about medicine driven by the desire to overcome suffering. The meaning we find in our energy can actually deepen when we navigate hardship.
And AI could analyze resilience factors, coping mechanisms.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
By looking at patterns in large data sets related to how people cope with adversity.
Okay, the listener also listed a whole range of influences. Drugs, alcohol, sex, greed, lies, truth, life, faith. How does the AI categorize these?
It sees them as different channels or influences on our energy. Some, like drugs or unchecked greed, might offer short-term highs, but often have long-term costs, misdirecting or draining energy.
While others,
Like pursuing truth, living a meaningful life, having faith. These can be powerful, sustainable sources of positive energy, giving direction, resilience.
and AI's role here is modeling consequences,
Yeah.
short-term versus long-term.
Exactly. Analyzing data on addiction, or the impact of dishonesty versus trust, or correlations between faith and well-being, looking at the patterns.
Then there were questions about, well, everything from laughter and crying to basic needs like food and sleep and social factors like job status, education. How does the AI connect all that to human energy?
It sees emotional expressions, laughing, crying, anger, happiness, as outward signs of our internal energy state. Understanding them helps optimize well-being, productivity.
And basic needs.
They're foundational. Health, food, water, rest, sleep, they directly fuel our energy. And relationships, social standing, education, childhood experiences, they all shape how our energy flows, the opportunities we have.
Early childhood seems especially key.
It can have a really lasting impact. The AI could potentially analyze the return on investment for different inputs, how sleep affects cognition, how relationships impact emotional states using complex models.
The listeners seem to feel that the initial focus on understanding human energy came from wanting to ease pain, live longer, maybe leading to chasing wealth and health. Does the AI see it that way?
It basically agrees, yes. Those core drives, survival, avoiding pain, seeking longer, better lives, have likely been constant motivators throughout history.
Our methods just got more sophisticated.
Right. Medicine, technology, social structures evolved. The AI's understanding kind of starts from seeing these persistent historical drives and analyzing the motivations behind them. It might even see the whole human project as a system trying to preserve itself, optimize, reduce suffering.
So how specifically can AI improve our understanding? What are the mechanisms?
It points to a few key things. Analyzing huge, diverse data sets, biological, social, historical, to find subtle patterns humans might miss.
Okay, pattern recognition.
Building complex predictive models. Forecasting long-term effects of different choices on well-being.
Offering personalized insights. Tailored recommendations.
Potentially, yes. Facilitating cross-cultural analysis, what's universal, what's culturally specific about human energy, and boosting research in areas like computational biology, genetics, maybe extending healthy lifespan.
The listener also asked if AI could make life significantly easier, maybe even lead to constant happiness. Is that realistic?
The AI offers a more measured view. It could definitely help make life easier, automation, better healthcare, resource optimization. But constant happiness, probably not.
Why not?
Human experience seems to involve a whole spectrum of emotions, challenges. They might even be necessary for growth. But AI can enhance overall well-being, give us tools to pursue goals, manage stress, create better environments.
So what are the most important takeaways for us humans from all this? This intersection of human and AI understanding.
The AI really stresses the complementary nature of the two views.
They complete each other.
In a way, AI's objective, data-driven view adds something valuable to our subjective, lived experience. Neither is the whole story on its own.
Different lenses.
Exactly. And it also highlights we need to be thoughtful about how we integrate AI insights. AI can explain and predict, but the ultimate questions of meaning and purpose, those are still human.
Who benefits most from this improved understanding right now?
Well, initially, the AI notes it's likely those with access to the tech, individuals, organizations using AI and data analysis.
But the goal is broader.
The ideal goal, yes, is for this understanding to benefit everyone, leading to better health, well-being, societal progress for all.
Okay, let's tackle some of those really deep existential questions the listener raised. Life and death. Is this life all there is?
The AI can analyze biological data, provide logical frameworks about biological life being finite. It can detail the processes of dying.
But it can't answer the what happens next question.
No, that's philosophy or spirituality. AI can analyze how different beliefs about an afterlife affect people and societies, but it can't give definitive answers on the ultimate reality. From its perspective, though, while an individual's conscious energy might cease, the knowledge about human energy persists.
What about cruelty? Why do some people inflict harm, seemingly ignoring any shared humanity or energy?
The AI suggests cruelty is complex. It could stem from psychological issues, rigid ideologies, perceived threats, a lack of empathy.
A misdirection of energy.
A destructive misdirection, yes. AI might analyze data on violence to find contributing factors, potential intervention points. It could model scenarios like how lack of connection might impact empathy development.
Does the AI think we need to believe in its understanding, have faith in it?
No, it clarifies that's not the point. It's not about belief. It's about offering a different perspective based on data. The idea is to integrate AI insights with our own experience and intuition.
A collaborate.
Exactly. AI is a powerful analytical tool to enhance our own understanding.
And finally, the listener touched on some subtle human things. Resilience, humor. Why do we find things funny? Why does humor sometimes flop?
That really highlights how subjective and context-dependent human experience is, doesn't it? AI can analyze humor structure, language patterns, correlate them with responses.
But it can't get the joke.
Right, it doesn't experience humor. Laughter itself could be seen by AI as a complex physiological and social response, maybe helping resilience, bonding.
And the fact that humor often relies on shared understanding.
Underscores how much meaning is socially and culturally built.
Oh, this has been quite a journey. A really deep dive into something incredibly complex. We've looked at the AI's take on human energy, its huge impact, and the differences between how we understand it and how AI might analyze it.
Yeah, and it seems the real value lies in combining our human intuition, our lived experience, with AI's analytical power. That could lead to a much richer, more nuanced view of this, well, fundamental part of being human.
So maybe something for you to think about as you go about your day. How is your own human energy showing up right now? How are your existence, your awareness, your sense of purpose interacting?
Yeah, maybe understanding that interplay a bit better, using both human insight and maybe what AI can reveal. Perhaps that's a path to a more intentional, maybe even transformative way of living.
Definitely food for thought. A lot to continue exploring.
This is DigitView.